Hi everyone and welcome to your Nourishing Flow class. So if you haven't practiced with me before, I'm Rosie. It's lovely to have you on the channel. This class is going to be a really brilliant one to do to start your day, or a slightly shorter practice to fit in, you know, when you've got kind of like a hectic schedule and you want to just chill out for 15 minutes and really take some time to make the practice what you need. So there are going to be a lot of variations, a lot of different options during the 15 minutes. But if you are kind of at home and you do have a bit of time and you also want to grab hold of a blanket or pillows or anything to make you more comfortable, please do, and then we will get started. We're going to get started in a seated position, so either cross-legged, or if you feel more comfortable, up on a block or with a small cushion underneath the seat, or even kneeling on a bolster. Feel free to just come to the position that you think you can be as comfortable in for as long as possible. So we're not going to be here too long at all, but you just want the body to feel like it's really grounded, like we don't have any niggles. So starting off in whatever position works for you, closing down through the eyes to start and just taking the hands, palm down on the knees or maybe the thighs. And just starting by giving a little wiggle to the shoulders, maybe just adjusting your seat. So if you could make yourself just 10% more comfortable here, what would you do? Just 10%, just to ask yourself and then see if you can just do what that small thing is, no matter how small it may be. And just start to think of all of the parts of the body that are connected down towards the mat. Just noticing that connection to the earth. And then starting to notice this breath. Moving through the body, so we're inhaling and exhaling. And just noticing for a second the quality of that breath. And allow the breath just at the start here to be as natural as possible. So whatever feels most comfortable, just noticing how the breath is in this very moment. And just taking a releasing breath, so in through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. Just taking one more inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And then starting to just give a squeeze to the knees or to the thighs. So waking up through the fingertips and taking one hand onto the chest and the other on top, so into that heart space. Noticing if you can now feel the beat of that breath. Diaphragm moving. And we're just going to take a few breaths, a few retaining breaths. So we're going to inhale for 3, hold for 2, exhale for 5. When we're ready, inhaling, 1, 2, 3, holding that breath, 1, 2, 3, exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, retain, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, retain, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, retaining, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, retain, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale, release out through the mouth. And just starting to breathe naturally, letting that breath go back to normal. Now gently just starting to flutter open those eyelids. Taking those hands down from the chest, and we're going to roll ourselves around into an all fours position. So shoulders stacked above wrists, hips stacked above knees. And again, there's the option here to close the eyes, so to keep the eyes closed. Maybe you feel like having them open, but just taking a second here to take any wiggles as you settle in. So again, the same way we did when we came into that initial meditation, pranayama, just wiggling, settling, finding a space that works. And then we're going to move into some gentle cat-cow. So as we inhale, just dropping that belly down, lifting through the chest, gaze goes forwards. As we exhale, rounding through the back, allow the head to hang heavy. So really making that curve through the back. So we inhale, draw up. Now there's the option here to find stillness. So maybe this movement isn't what the body's asking or calling for. Option now, you could go into a child's pose and stay there until the end of practice. So we're just taking a moment to notice, does the body even need that movement? Is that what we're needing today? Or maybe it's stillness. So if you're with me, taking that cat-cow, you can stay with this cat-cow option. Or if you feel like it, you can start to allow that body to be a little bit more intuitive. So we're moving around, taking circles. And really asking yourself what feels nourishing here. So if you're taking those circles, you might go in both directions. Just staying with the breath. So whatever movement we're doing, seeing if that movement can just match the length of the breath. Maybe you're padding out through the hands, so taking fingertips to the sides or towards you, getting a stretch out through the forearms. Maybe you're tucking under the toes, pushing back. Maybe you're just waiting in that stillness, staying with the breath. So it's really your choice. Couple more seconds here. And then if you're staying with that movement, just allowing yourself to rock back into a kneeling position, hands slide up the thighs as we rise. And from here, again, there's the option to pause. You might choose to close the eyes. Maybe you even go back to that breath that we had at the start of the practice. Inhaling for 3, retaining for 3, exhaling for 5. It's your choice. If you're with me and you want to come along with that movement, taking some sun salutations, seated sun salutations. As we inhale, just drawing those arms up above the head, gaze reaches up to the hands. Exhale, hands come down through heart center, Anjali Mudra. Next inhale, we rise up to high kneeling, gazing to the fingertips. Exhale, sweep those hands behind you, forehead comes down to the mat, child's pose for just a second. We inhale, reach those hands, fingertips forwards, roll the body down almost like a wave, finding the belly. Exhaling here. Inhale, just peeling up through the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking under those toes, rolling the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe you take a pedal out through the feet. Allow any wiggles in, just listening to what the body's asking of you. If you want to, maybe now is the time that you find stillness. When we're ready, dropping those knees down, untucking toes, coming back to that kneeling position. Just taking one more round. So inhale, arms rising up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, high kneeling, gazing up to the hands. Exhale, hands sweep behind you, palms to the sky, forehead to the mat, child's pose. Inhale, reaching fingertips forwards, rolling the body down almost like a wave. Exhaling, we reach the belly. Inhale, baby cobra, maybe those fingertips come off the mats. Exhale, push down, tuck under toes, roll it back, downward facing dog. Getting a nice stretch out through the backs of the legs, through the hamstrings. When you're ready, knees coming down, untucking toes, coming back to kneeling, rising up. And from here, just coming into an easy twist. So taking that left hand towards the right knee, right fingertips behind us. We inhale, lift up through that chest. Exhale, take that gaze behind you. So coming into that twist, finding length through the body. One more inhale here. Exhale back through center. Right hand comes to the left knee, left fingertips behind us. We inhale, find that length. Exhale, find the twist. One more inhale here. Exhale, release back through center. And then just taking a pause as we come to face the middle of the mat again, taking any wiggles that you might need through the back. And then coming into just a slightly longer hold, we're going to come into a child's pose. So starting off in a narrow leg, taking the forehead down towards the mat. You might prop a pillow or cushion underneath the forehead and just taking the hands, palms facing up behind you. So slightly longer hold. There's going to be the option to stay here for almost a full 4 minutes. So there are going to be variations offered throughout the 4 minutes, but just everyone starting off here. So narrow leg, arms behind you, just taking that pause. Focusing on the body, how the body feels, focusing on the breath. Now, like I said, option to stay here. Or if you feel like taking it a little bit further, just starting to reach those hands forwards. And instead of reaching them out in front, just keeping the hands close to the head and taking the elbows out to the sides. So we're making a little bit of space here for the shoulders to just soften. Again, just staying with that breath. Noticing the rise and fall of the back as we breathe here. So option to pause here, or to maybe take those knees out to the side. So just lifting up the head, taking the knees out as far as feels comfortable and taking the forehead back down. So starting now to get that opening through the hips, through the groin. Noticing how that feels. Maybe you take a little bit of movement side to side. So maybe you let that breath move through you even in the moments of stillness. Either staying here or just taking those hands out in front now. We're starting to get that stretch through the arms, through the hands, through the chest, through the shoulders, reaching the arms forwards. So this is our deepest variation of the child's pose. So pausing here. If at any point this feels really heavy for the body, just drawing those arms back towards you, maybe bringing the knees closer together, allowing yourself to go back to any of the variations from before. Next inhale that we find, whatever variation we're in, gently peeling ourselves back up. Moving slowly. So if you had the hips open, just using those hands to help you draw them back together. And rising back to kneeling. And just taking a second here. Taking the hands down onto the thighs. This time we're going to go palms facing up. So it's our last little bit of practice. So again, just focusing on that breath, the inhale and the exhale. You might notice if the body feels any different to the start of practice. Maybe the breath feels changed, or maybe the mind even feels clearer. So just noticing any changes. And we're going to take just 3 rounds of humming breath. So it's as simple as breathing in on the exhale, humming, breathing in on the inhale even, breathing out, humming out on the exhale. So when we're ready, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, inhaling, you might still be going depending on the length of your breath. Just taking your time, and then when you're ready, taking the hands together at heart center and just rubbing the palms, generating a little bit of heat, a little bit of warmth, and just placing the palms over the eyes. Noticing that darkness. Taking a moment to say thank you to yourselves for finding the time to practice. Thank you to the amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us. Maybe you just dedicate your practice to someone special. Releasing those hands down, gently fluttering open eyelids, just coming back to the space, back to the room, taking your time easing in. So thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope that class was one that you can come back to. It's also one where I would like the movements to be super memorable. It's one that can be even shorter than the amount of time we've practiced, or it could be longer. So if you do this class a couple of times, it might be one that then you don't really need the video of me, but it's something that you can build up your self-practice with, and moving a little bit more intuitively, knowing where your body wants to go, so learning to listen to what the body wants, learning to understand that it might just be stillness on some days. So depending on when you do this practice, it might look drastically different. You might spend the whole class in child's pose, the whole class just focusing on your breath. You might spend a little longer in the child's pose, a little less time. It's one that you can really tailor to you, which was the main idea. So let me know if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope I'll see you soon.